Hi. So it all started with an ad for a second-hand Apple Cinema display, 27-inch. Even though the cables were a little bit worn, as you can see, I was very impressed with the picture quality, but that's when I tried to play some music. Terrible. Most speakers good, but not the right. This monitor's fine. So I decided to open up the monitor. They're pretty easy to open, and then I found the reason. The cone was falling apart, literally as I was touching it. And before long, the whole guts just fell apart. So I tried to make a new cone on my Cricket machine, but as you can tell, didn't go too well. Still not good. I might have to buy another speaker. Determined not to be beaten, I found these speakers on AliExpress for just $10. Here's a subwoofer test. As you can see, because there's no speaker cone, I can't get any sound. Alright, we'll try that with the replacement speaker. Nearly got it open. It just comes apart like this. Well, finally got the back off. Just a bit of prying. So there's the blown speaker. And that's the tweeter. And that's the full range. So, yeah, it looks like it's a 36mm driver. So I got the right size. So I got the speaker out. That's my new Yamaha 4 ohm 3 watt. It seems to be the same size, so 36mm. I'll make some measurements. So the original is 35.55. The replacement 30, so we'll say 36mm. And as for the thickness, 12mm. The replacement, 13. Might be in trouble. It's a little bit thicker, but it might be okay. Okay, so here's the new speaker installed. And as you can see, it's a bass reflex. And just wired up the connections, made it airtight, so the bass reflex works. That's the bass port. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got it wired up now. Yep, that's looking good. No more distortion. Time to button it up. Here it is, all put back together. Very good. Full blast. No more distortion. Awesome. So after using the monitor for a week, I was really impressed, but I wanted to run everything over USB-C. But the webcam runs over USB-A. But it's actually really hard to find a USB-C to mini DisplayPort or DisplayPort that can also carry a USB-A signal. As you can see, I'm using this little mini DisplayPort adapter and it's working fine. Alright, and when I unplug it, the monitor goes off. And when I try and use this Me one, alright, plug it in to USB and then plug in the mini DisplayPort, nothing happens. Nothing. AliExpress were really good and they refunded me, so I got this adapter and also this one, and they both ended up working fine. So then I got a USB-C switcher, which is supposed to handle 8K, but the switcher died. So instead of buying the cheap shit, I ended up getting an ATEN, or ATEN, US 3312 display port, and it gives you 2 USB-Cs. That adapter did work, but here we go. So this is the plan. I've got a 2-port USB-C KVM switch. That's it there from ATEN. Now I've got a display port to mini display port, and the USB-A for this cinema display for the webcam. And I've also got a 64 gig USB stick. So here you can see we've got Windows, and then there's that USB stick, and we can just switch computers like that. And now we're in Mac. And as you can tell, there's that USB stick. Makes it so easy to copy between Windows and Mac. Switch, go back, and we're back in Windows. 27-inch Apple Cinema display, USB-C, mini display port, and the old MagSafe 1 charger. So as you can see, it's a bit worn out, and I want to share it between the Windows laptop and the Mac Mini. So I've got a new cable for a MagSafe 2. I've got a USB-C switcher, so switches to USB-Cs, and I'll put a 64 gig USB stick in there, and this goes display port to mini display port. And I'm going to put a power switch on the back of the monitor because sometimes you need to turn it off. Well, this is the best place I can find to put the switcher. It seems to be the deepest area, but even still, I think I might have to take this switcher apart, the top cover off the switch, and it's definitely a lot flatter now, so I'm pretty sure the screen will go on. I've just done some cable management here, and this is the incoming cable. Yeah, I think I might just reroute this under the logic board. Yeah, we'll see how we go. The internal cable is now routed underneath here, loops around back here, and goes into the switch. So I've just got the 2 USB-C cables coming out the bottom, or Thunderbolt, whatever you want to call it. And I've got the switch wire for switching between A and B. But I'm going to replace that with the micro button and just put that under here. So you just click, change inputs from the rear. And the cord coming out the top, and switch, and there we go. It's working. So it looks like this button cap is 6.6mm. I reckon I can put it just under the speaker here, so you can reach from behind and change the inputs. Alright, so I've now routed the wire down to this button, just a bit of hot glue to hold it in, and yeah, it works well. I'll show you from the back. And here's the input button. As you can see, it's totally flush and just very simple. Click, click. That's it. Feels good. Here's the 240 volts coming in. So I might pop a hole there because it's just deep enough next to the speaker. I can't have it here because it's going to be too thick. So I'll pop a hole there. Just unravel this cable and yeah, should be good to go. Perfect. So I've just made an 18mm hole and beautiful. There we go, nicely soldered on. And this switch is good for 120 volts at 10 amps or 240 volts at 5 amps. Whole screen only uses 1 amp, so well within the limits. Okay, so there we go. Just cut in the neutral and gone back onto the board. So now I've got a on-off switch. Rating, and I'm just going to set that in epoxy. I've got a 2 USB KVM. I'll just shove the circuit board in there. I've rewired the 240 volts, so I've got a power switch now. And I upgraded the MagSafe connector. So now it's MagSafe 2 for modern laptops. And what else? Oh yeah, that's your input button. And just got to put the screen all back together. And with that, we're done. So here we have it. We've got 2 USBs coming out of the monitor and a MagSafe 2, along with a select button, which is absolutely flush. It's actually recessed a little, and a power switch. And it's buttoned up perfectly and works totally fine. So for the cable exit, I've just used epoxy, and it's a bit hard to see, but it's all encased in epoxy. That's a little bit of tape that I can't get off. So here we are, the final product. We've got the 27-inch and 24-inch Apple Cinema display, not the Thunderbolt, the mini display port. So there's the there's the Windows laptop and just a MacBook Air, and there's the Mac Mini. So here we are in Windows, and you can see I'm using the built-in webcam, and there's the internal 64 gig USB stick. So using the same keyboard and mouse, just hit that button there, it'll switch over to Mac, and here we are using the same keyboard and mouse, and the webcam's working, and there's that file from Windows, just drag and drop. This is really good. I'm quite happy with the end result.